No one expected a beauty pageant to fall completely silent, but that's exactly what happened the moment one contestant stepped onto the Miss World Chile stage and unleashed something no one in the audience was prepared for. In a room built on elegance, poise, and perfect smiles, the atmosphere flipped in seconds as a sound tore through the venue that didn't belong anywhere near a pageant. And before anyone had time to process what they were hearing, the entire crowd froze, because this wasn't a dance routine, a classical song, or anything remotely safe. It was something far louder, far bolder, and far more unforgettable. Just moments before everything shifted, the event looked like any other high-stakes pageant night. Bright lights, glittering gowns, and the kind of polished atmosphere where every move feels perfectly rehearsed. But right in the middle of that controlled elegance stood a contestant who wasn't interested in blending in. As the room waited for yet another safe, predictable talent performance, she stepped forward with a calm confidence that didn't match the shock she was about to deliver. No one in the audience, judges included, had the slightest clue that this wasn't going to be the usual display of poise or choreography. They were seconds away from witnessing something that would rewrite the entire energy of the competition. The woman at the center of this moment wasn't just another contestant hoping to impress the judges with a polished routine. Her name is Ignacia Fernandez, a 27-year-old model who lives a double life most people in that audience knew nothing about. Outside the pageant world, she's the founder and lead vocalist of a progressive death metal band, a role that demands power, grit, and a voice trained far beyond the limits of traditional singing. While everyone expected the usual safe showcase, Ignacia had something entirely different in mind. She wanted to bring the part of herself that never fits neatly into a pageant box, and instead of hiding it to appear more traditional, she decided this was the moment to reveal exactly who she was. That choice alone set the stage for what would become the most unforgettable twist of the entire competition. When the spotlight shifted to her, Ignacia stepped forward in a full ball gown, looking every bit like the classic pageant image, right up until the music hit. The moment the first heavy riff dropped, the entire room snapped to attention. Instead of soft vocals or a delicate melody, she unleashed a surge of guttural power that echoed through the venue and shattered every expectation in the building. Beside her, one of her bandmates played with the confidence of someone who knew exactly how bold this moment was. Judges blinked in disbelief. Audience members leaned forward in confusion. And for a few seconds, no one knew whether to react or remain frozen. It wasn't just unexpected. It was a complete collision of two worlds that were never supposed to meet. Those first few seconds felt like the entire venue forgot how to breathe. Judges stared with wide eyes, whispering to each other as if trying to confirm they were actually hearing what they thought they were hearing. People in the audience exchanged looks of pure shock, some covering their mouths, others pulling out their phones because they instantly knew this moment was too wild not to capture. But after the initial wave of disbelief, something unexpected happened. The room started to shift. The confusion melted into excitement, and the stunned silence turned into loud cheers as the crowd realized they weren't watching a gimmick. They were watching someone give every ounce of themselves with absolute confidence. A few judges even rose to their feet, clapping like they'd just witnessed a performance that blew open the limits of what a pageant talent segment could be. And the energy didn't stop there, because the internet got hold of the clip and everything was about to explode even bigger. Once the clip hit social media, the reaction went from a shocked room to a global eruption. Within hours, Ignacia's performance was everywhere, shared across music pages, pageant forums, and even communities that never pay attention to beauty competitions. What started as a massive risk ended up pushing her straight into the spotlight in the best possible way. The judges didn't treat it as a stunt. They saw someone bold enough to rewrite the rules, and it paid off. Her performance helped secure her place among the top favorites, and suddenly everyone wanted to know who she was, where her music came from, and how she managed to pull off something so unexpected on such a polished stage. But what the world didn't know yet was that Ignacia's story ran much deeper than a single viral moment. And the reason she performed like that wasn't just for attention. It was personal. Behind the sudden fame and viral shock, Ignacia carried a story built on years of grit and discipline. Long before stepping onto that pageant stage, she had already poured herself into the world of progressive death metal, forming her band, performing at festivals, and earning respect in a scene that demands real skill. Her growls weren't a party trick. They were the result of intense training, vocal coaching, and working closely with professionals to protect her voice. She spent years refining a technique most singers wouldn't dare attempt, and every note she delivered that night came from experience, not impulse. For her, the performance wasn't about breaking the rules. It was about refusing to hide the part of herself that mattered most. And that fearless honesty was exactly what the world connected with, even more than the shock of the moment itself. As the dust settled, it became clear that Ignacia hadn't just delivered a viral performance, she'd pushed an entire industry to rethink what talent, identity, and bravery can look like on a stage built around perfection. Her moment wasn't polished, safe, or traditional, and that's exactly why it hit so hard. She showed millions of viewers that breaking the mold doesn't ruin the spectacle, it elevates it. People who had never watched a pageant before suddenly cared. Discussing her confidence, her artistry, and the message behind choosing authenticity over expectations. In a single performance, she turned a quiet talent segment into a worldwide conversation, proving that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is show up as yourself, unapologetically and without compromise. And after witnessing that, the world began waiting to see what she would do next. In the end, Ignacia didn't just shock a room full of judges. She sparked a moment that people everywhere are still talking about. Her performance proved that the most unforgettable moments happen when someone steps out of the script and shows the world who they really are. And whether you're into pageants, metal, or anything in between, it's impossible not to respect the courage it took to pull this off. If you got thoughts on her performance or the reaction it caused, drop them down below. I'd love to hear what side you're on. And if you want more stories that flip expectations just like this, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on because there's a lot more coming.